So this video is on trigonometric functions, specifically arc length. We'll be going over this problem. The problem is S is the arc length in radians of the unit circle from 1, 0 to 4/5, negative 3/5. What is sine S? Okay, so we've been learning about the unit circle, and I'm not sure the video lecture actually explicitly states arc length, so but you know what it is. So first of all, let's take a look at a unit circle. So arc length is the length from this first point 1, 0 at 0 degrees up until, any point. So in the lecture, they defined it, so this is part of the wrapping function. They defined it as S of, let's pick something. So it can be radians or degrees. I typically talk about radians. So let's say S, in the lecture, he says S of pi over 6 equals the point you get to. So equals this point, that's root 3 over 2 comma 1 1/2, right? So that's the arc length essentially. It's I usually talk about, arc length is usually stated in radians, so the arc length from here to here is pi over 6, and that's kind of what he talks about in this wrapping function. Okay, so let me talk a little more about the unit circle. So this is the arc length that tells you the degrees and the radians of each. So the arc length from here to here, is pi over 4. And so what this cosine sine means is that cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. And cosine of pi over 3 is root 3 over 2. And you can see that for each one. So cosine of pi over 6 is going to be root 3 over 2, and sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. So that's kind of what each thing is, and that's going to be very useful to know. So a unit circle with all this information, not all of them have every single bit of information here, and I like this one. I just found it on Google image search. But it will have radians, degrees, and it will remind you that it goes cosine, sine is the order of the coordinates. And so this is a good unit circle. Email me if you want me to find one exactly like this for you, or make one. It's good to memorize this. All right, let's get to the problem. So S is the arc length in radians of the unit circle from 1, 0 to 4/5, negative 3/5. What is sine S? So hopefully you'll start to be able to visualize this given what we just talked about with the unit circle. So first of all, we're going to be drawing something. First plot the point 4/5, negative 3/5. So that's 4/5 is x. So it's going to be, closer to 1, like right here, and then negative 3/5. So it's going to be in this vicinity, somewhere here. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, but it helps to draw it. So I made a little drawing ahead of time. Here we go. Here's my little drawing. So we first plot the point 4/5, negative 3/5. That's roughly here. And we're gonna go counterclockwise. So this is gonna be the whole arc length, and that's what S is. S is this whole arc length. So S of something is going to equal this. And now it's asking, what is sine of S? Well, if so again, let's pull up that unit circle because it reminded us of something. Here we go. Okay. So sine of S. If S is a radian measure, like this 30 degrees or pi over 6, you can see that sine of theta, sine of 5 pi over 3, that's negative root 3 over 2, right? So sine of let me draw that little angle in. Actually, shapes line. Here we go. So sine of sine of this, that didn't come out very well, but sine of that is just this number, right? Our unit circle reminded us, sine of theta. So this is our theta, and this is our sine of theta. So it's right in front of your eyes, actually. I know it sounds complicated, and it really helps to draw out this whole unit circle, but this is our answer, -3/5, because it's sine of s. S is our radian measure that we went all the way around, and just like, 5 pi over 3, sine of theta, that's theta. So we just take sine of theta, and that's -3/5. So you don't actually have to do any computations. It's right in front of your eyes. It just helps to draw out a circle with radius 1. That's the unit circle. That's where we get units. So this radius is 1. And the arc length is s. And we got to this point. And that's all you have to know for this problem. And please email me or ask me any questions that you still have.